Hi guys, it's Thane,
And Judy.
Nature Preserve Life. We're doing something a little different this time. We're not out at the property, we're just at our home in Albuquerque and presenting this episode where we're just going to give kind of a review of where we're at, what we're doing, why we're doing, especially for those who are new to the channel, so you don't have to necessarily go back and watch from the beginning of our whole adventure.
Unless you want to. I mean, feel free to do that.
Yes, views and likes certainly are a good thing. So
Yeah.
if you want to, go for it. So this right now we took most of February off, kind of vacationing and doing small things on the property. I think we did one or two trips out there on a weekend. But we hope to get out there this upcoming weekend. We'll shoot a lot more material and get some interesting ideas put together with some future episodes on what we're doing. Our real focus is now that we're able to drive to the build site.
Yay!
We're still thrilled about that.
That was like the moment. We have been wanting this to be able to drive to the build site for so long.
For months.
And it's just been, we got to get this hurdle. You have to go over this hurdle. And we finally did it. So thanks to our he's not an excavator. What the heck is he?
Oh, yeah, our excavator backhoe
operator. Thank you. So.
Yeah, and we found I wish we could say we found really great deals on the culverts and the materials, but they still added up to being more expensive than the property itself. So no cheap endeavor, but it could be a lot worse. So we're not really complaining at all.
So what Thane has done ever since I met him is he always looks for the bang for his buck. He always does a lot of research, and he does, and he looks for the best, the
solution to the problem.
Yes, and the cheapest solution, and the
not necessarily cheapest, but
not necessarily, not really, but more economical. So we're not spending an arm and a leg on culverts and getting them in, and he's trying to, so which is great because it's saving us a lot of money so far. So yeah. I pat you on the back.
It's not like we're doing it so cheap that we're going to have more problems down the road. I mean, we're looking into the problems and trying to figure out a good long-term solution, but not just write a blank check.
Yeah, but he's saving money. I mean, he's doing his research, so he's saving us a lot of money.
But we're also spending a lot of money, unfortunately, too.
Right.
But anyway, our lot that we're planning on building on, we haven't even started really the design work other than some preliminary ideas that Judy and I like. We have a couple kind of designs that we're debating between. One's a little smaller design, but still with a large garage. We really want a lot of, at least I want a lot of garage space. Can never have too much, and it's the cheap part of the build is the garage. Because you're not finishing anything in there other than hanging sheetrock or something.
Right, but no.
But,
yeah.
So we're trying, I guess what we want to do is talk about our project, kind of our hopes and dreams in the future and what we're trying to do here. Yeah. And we're really kind of thrilled about being in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is an adventure that started for us about 8 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I had bought a house not too far from UNM because that was my thing. I wanted to go back to school, and Thane popped up and said, "Hey, I have a job interview in Albuquerque. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Well, we have a house." So that's how we ended up here.
It was kind of a vacant house that she grabbed as an investment, with the expectation we get down there for retirement, and live there and have kind of this as our winter or academic year home down here, because we were living in Oregon, the Portland area at the time, and we kind of always figured we'd be on the West Coast at least, because I'd had a little job for a short while in Modesto, California. Loved the climate there. Always loved the West Coast. So this is kind of different when this opportunity came, and we ended up down here. Judy's little house was a great little thing for us to slide into when we moved down here for this job. And
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like back when things were, people were, oh, come on, they were just leaving their home. They were under foreclosure.
yeah,
And I tell you something, I bought it online. I found it.
sight unseen.
Sight unseen. I flew Thane and his dad out because they knew everything about what they needed, and I knew nothing. And so I stayed with my mother-in-law while they went and did that. He would send me pictures, videos of the street, of the house, and it needed some work. I mean, they took out the heater and the cooling system, and so it needed some work. But we did. It just took us, coming back for a weekend and getting appliances at one of the local places here for $3,000, and we got all the appliances plus washer and dryer, which was amazing. And I got white, and he's like, "Why do you want white?" And I said, "Well,
Probably
because it's
should've
easy to
spent
clean."
more
And he says, "Got
stainless.
black, Judy." And I said, "Yeah, but black shows all the fingerprints. I want something that doesn't show all the fingerprints." Anyway, so
that house we
Yeah.
put a little more money and time into. We
Yeah.
made put in the granite and made the kitchen really pop. And we stayed there. I think it was like a year before we came down for the job.
Yeah.
So Judy had the house kind of vacant. The neighbors were watching it.
And they would put cat food on the porch. They parked in our driveway. I mean, they're the best neighbors in the world, And so it looked like there was people there, which was amazing for us because all my furniture was there. So we were very blessed
Anyway,
to be in that neighborhood.
when the job came, we moved down into the house and started living and working there and discovering, to our surprise, how wonderful Albuquerque is
Yeah.
when it comes to the cost of living.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I mean, we would run down to the local supermarket, El Super, and we could buy, 6 bags of groceries, like vegetables. And they were what, $30?
Yeah, 30,
I mean, it
40
was like
bucks.
under $30. It was insane. I'm just like, okay. Yeah. It was pretty amazing.
And so we stayed in that house. We did some little remodeling to it for about 3 years. And then we ran into issues where it really quite wasn't big enough for us. And we had some other issues with aging parents to deal with.
Yeah.
We didn't know at the time how bad it was going to get for us, but under the need for a little bigger space, we found the current house we're in. It was, about 3 times the square footage, and
Yeah.
5
it was-
bedrooms, a den,
Yeah.
3.5 baths. It's a huge
It
house.
was amazing. It's just, I know you're saying, why would you want a big house? You got to clean it. But it's not bad to keep clean, and it's really nice. I mean, it's just really, when kids come, it's just so wonderful for them to have their own room and their own shower, and it's good. It's really good.
So this enabled us I had some stuff in storage back in Portland at that point when we got this house. So it allowed us to bring the rest of the stuff down, deal with aging parents a lot easier. And now we're to the point where we're thinking about retirement as we get closer.
Yep.
And we go back and forth about what our goals and interests are, especially in retirement.
Because I've always wanted to go back to school and learn different things. I was early childhood for 30 years, and I'd like to learn more nutrition and things like that, science and biology, and then Thane wants to do
astronomy, astrophysics. I've studied computer science. Actually, the degree was from the School of Business and IT, with an emphasis in databases and development tools and stuff.
Yeah.
And my career got going in that, and it has ever since.
Yeah.
But I still had a passion and interest in the sciences, as Judy basically does too, with nutrition and biology and stuff.
So if you saw the first video, or even at the end, I believe, each video at the end, Thane has that little spot, and it has the telescope. And that was the reason why we chose Mountain Air Nature Preserve, because it's so far away from the big city. It's not too far from Mountain Air, but Mount Air's little. It's a little town, and
Has your basic supplies when you need to come
right.
into town to
But
get
you
stuff.
have that beautiful dark sky where you can really look at those stars, and so that's kind of what we chose. So.
Yeah, the goal kind of was to, if we both ended up taking some classes, going back to school, studying in our retirement years, which that's still not necessarily what we end up doing. Who knows? We may travel.
We don't have a clue. I want to travel. I want to see as much as this world as possible. So there's so much. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's endless. I mean,
Yep, well, big world to go see.
There is, so.
But on the other hand, learning and enjoying the process of learning, I have so many fond memories of undergrad days and being a poor, struggling student and all that. And at the time, it didn't seem like it was a great thing, but you look back at the simpler times.
Yeah, the love of learning is just, it just fulfills you. But then thinking about building something from nothing, and we're aiming towards Adobe. That we want it earth friendly. We want it. I have so many allergies. It's ridiculous as I get older, and so we thought we just want it friendly so we can breathe and we can, enjoy our retirement years and not be all.
I just like not just the health benefits of natural earth and materials, but just the cultural history of Adobe and the ancient pueblos in this area. Yeah. It just speaks of everything here. Yeah. And if you're going to live in New Mexico, it's like you might as well do earth.
You really want to have
stuff, Adobe or rammed earth or something that's part of the ancient culture and human history and stuff. Yeah. So that's always kind of intrigued me. I go back long ago when I was a younger teenager, finding a book on New Mexico solar Adobe kind of construction back in the 70s and being intrigued by it all, the thought of being able to have a house that pretty much runs, free of utilities and not having to have monthly bills. It still intrigues me even more now as an adult that, it's great enough that Albuquerque and New Mexico is so inexpensive to live here compared to what we had back in the West Coast, back in Portland, that I can't imagine it taking it to the next level where we might have pretty much free power from some solar panels on the roof, where we have so much sunshine year round.
Exactly. Water collection. We love to just collect the water from the roof because we do get those monsoons that come through. And,
they could fill up a big tank for the year. Even
though there is a well, I mean, it would just be nice to have all that extra water.
Yeah, we'd like to use the well as kind of a backup system.
Right.
And be able to have, free AC, free heat. And we'll probably end up doing some propane tank on the property to do the really cold night, heating in the cold nights, as well as, the stove and all that. But for the most part, we'd hopefully have no utility bills and just pay our property taxes once a year.
So you can save your money for other fun stuff, like travel.
Yep.
Or go to school or whatever.
So our goals are, like, if we do the school route in retirement, we'll probably want to keep this house in the city and spend the academic year in the city. In the summers, go out to the dark night skies or a little country home and enjoy the summer break.
Yeah, and the cool thing about UNM isn't when you're 65, it's only like, how much a credit?
Yeah, I think it's like $5 or $10 for seniors.
A credit.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
Almost free.
I mean, why not?
And
exercise that brain.
The community college here, Central New Mexico, is I think also like $5 or $10 credit once you're 62.
Yeah, and they've got a really great tutoring lab. I mean, it's amazing. It's really cool. So, anyways, that's.
Thank you for watching an episode of Nature Preserved Life in Mountain Air, New Mexico. If you'd like to follow along and support our channel, please press the subscribe button and gong that bell to be notified. After all, it's free. Free is a very good price. In the future, we'll plan to focus our episodes on our eco-friendly build of earthen construction and dark night astronomy, that big guy there, and tourism of the regional area, as well as establishing a Patreon account for the sole support of wildlife in Deer Canyon Preserve. So stay tuned. Cheers.